Hello! Welcome to Shelf Examination Podcast, where we examine items found on the shelves of our local libraries.
I'm Joe, the makerspace guy in this southern Utah.
And I'm Sarah, the reference librarian, one of the many in this area, and a guru of things that are geeky.
And we are continuing our Kaiju... Well, I think we are kind of wrapping up our Kaiju review today.
No one said they wanted to hear anything about Rampage.
Not yet. Well, not that I know of. We only just uploaded... We're about a week out on the episode where we first talked about Rampage.
Okay, I see.
And then I just uploaded the other one at the end of last week. And
so we might record it just in case.
We might, yeah. Well, and I haven't checked. See if we had any comments or anything like that. But it seems like right now our little podcast is still flying right under the radar, and that's fine.
That's okay.
That's
no
okay.
pressure.
We're having a good time.
We are. It's good. We get to watch monster movies. I mean, come on.
And we do. And today we are watching the latest Toho Godzilla movie, Godzilla Minus One. Yeah.
Not to be confused with Godzilla Minus Zero. Godzilla Zero.
The
one
next
is coming
one.
out.
The next one that's
coming out.
I think
next
that
year.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a whole lot to say about this. And let me wrap up my thoughts about it. I'm gonna wait and see.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of speculation on what this movie is going to be. And I have a feeling that there is no way it can live up
to Minus One.
To the hype that people are hoping that it will be.
Oh, man.
Because Minus One, let's general overview.
Yes.
What did you think of Minus One?
It was visually stunning.
Yes.
There was a few points where there was drama for the sake of drama.
Yeah.
But that's not unusual in a kaiju movie.
No, that's true.
But no, I liked it. I liked most of the people story, the B story.
Yes.
Which, really shone through in this one.
Koichi and Naruko and Akio. Akio. That little girl.
It's so cute.
So cute.
Oh my gosh.
And you can tell when she's crying that she is acting.
Yeah.
Because she's a little girl who is crying on command. But it was still so... I hate that I thought her cry was so cute, but it was so cute.
She was just so cute.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. She's just so cute. You want to pinch the
No,
cheeks.
she was wonderful. Everybody in this movie was wonderful. I agree. My opinion of this is going to be very, very high. In my opinion, this was better than 2014 Godzilla, which automatically puts it in my top 3.
Yeah, it was so well done, and the fact that it's gone back home to its roots of Toho,
yes,
was really good, and
they
brought in a lot of their expertise in the miniature world.
Yes. But it made the CG look
so good,
really
rooted
good.
In reality.
Despite the fact that it was CG, there were a couple of times when I was like, was that practical? That wasn't practical.
Some of their sets were practical that they just CG'd into it because they were actually using some old sets from
Did they build a giant Godzilla head to bounce a metal ball inside of? Because doggone, that looked real.
It really looked so cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I do know that they recycled some of the old Godzilla miniature sets along with a few other things to just make it more rooted in reality.
It definitely gave it some weight. It definitely gave it some heft, and everything in this movie was
one of the things I really
everything.
loved. And it's kind of like the first time Toho has grasped it when it comes to CG. Is the way when the big monsters move, gravity made an effect.
Yeah.
The skin would shift and the muscles would shift as they step. And before they
everything
just kind
had weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before with Toho CG, it just kind of floated along the ground. Because their focus was more on the suitmation.
Yeah.
Where it worked really well with suitmation because it has gravity. Yay!
And you can ignore the fact that the scale's off with the suitmation suit.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks like a dude who they're filming from low, but I am willing to squint and imagine because it was fun. Yeah.
It was just fun. But when you're doing CG and you're attempting to make it look quote unquote realistic.
Yes. Anytime where you miss, it misses by a mile.
So badly. Yeah. It's like when they did Jurassic Park and they hired this super amazing puppeteer to create the Tyrannosaurus, and then they fired him because they're like, oh, we'll just do it all CGI.
Yeah.
And then they had to rehire him at twice as much.
Yeah.
Because they could not make it look right. Because he's like, you're not putting gravity into this. So he had to reteach them the whole thing, and he got twice as much money for it.
Which he deserves. Well, they did have a physical T-Rex head.
Yes,
in that movie a lot of the time that they would switch out.
He would move around the
But to their
Jeep upside
credit,
down
when
and
I was a
stuff.
kid, I couldn't tell when they were switching back and forth.
It was a completely new idea.
Yeah.
Because originally they thought they were going to have to build all of the dinosaurs practically.
Yeah.
And then someone came
Well, they
along.
wanted to do like a claymation with blur or something. I don't
And
know.
someone
And it was
came
really
along
cool.
and said, well, what about we do it this way? You know, Pixar's kind of doing this thing. Why don't we do this thing? And they were like, this thing is cool. And then they realized you couldn't completely do everything they needed to do with CG.
They didn't fully. I think that some movies after it maybe leaned into CG a little bit too much. And I feel like modern movie making is coming back around to going, okay, every once in a while, let's put something on the set. It helps.
It helps. It really
helps to
does.
have something there. Now, this movie, there was, I think, a lot of CG, but I think that they learned their lesson. It felt right. It
felt
looked
right.
good.
They gave some weight, some reality base to it.
Yeah.
Which is funny considering we're talking about giant monsters.
For sure.
But you can suspend your disbelief because you believe it's actually in real world Japan.
Now, another thing that this movie did was the return to kaiju as a metaphor.
Yes.
And I have said
they kind of pushed that one.
They did, but here's the thing. In the past, kaiju as a metaphor, I was like, this is stupid. This is heavy-handed.
You liked it better in this one, huh?
Yeah, I think that it was good. I think it helped, though, that the metaphor that they leaned into was a very personal one. Yeah. Godzilla in this movie, okay, it's spoiler territory time. We're going to get into it. Godzilla,
it's been out for more than a year.
It has been, but nevertheless, Godzilla in this movie represents Koichi's PTSD.
Yep.
It represents.
It's no longer representing the nuclear bomb. It's no longer representing global
very
warming.
Personal thing, and the damage that it causes to people around him. Now, mind you,
not just his own personal internal turmoil, but the world around him. And
now, mind you, that turmoil is cranked up to 11,000 because it's a giant monster.
Monster with atomic breath.
But it is still a very personal thing. This thing shows up when Koichi is feeling in turmoil. This thing shows up to hurt people who Koichi is hurting. And it's also hurting other people.
Yep. There's a lot of collateral damage here.
I do respect this movie for... Okay, this is a heavy, heavy subject. We are talking about the death of a nation. We are talking about the death of millions of people. And yet, none of that is shown.
Yep.
On screen. I think of Grave of the Fireflies,
Ugh.
which stares. Okay, that's the feeling. That movie stares unblinkingly at the horrors.
Yes.
This movie doesn't. The horrors happened over there, and now we're going to look at the growth and the rebirth, and we're going to focus on that to the point where. Yes, we know that the place was up in flames. We know that everybody lost somebody. We know that people who were very close to them died. And that's just not going to be on screen.
It's kind of like Japan rebuilding after the 2011 earthquake and tsunami that just, caused all the nuclear problems and everything. And my husband says this, and he's kind of right in a really horrible way. And he says, if there was going to be a nuclear problem, it couldn't happen to a better country than Japan. Not because he doesn't like Japan, but because no one else can handle it better than Japan.
Right, I was going to say better in the sense of they are uniquely prepared
for
and
it.
Uniquely
they know
ready
exactly
to deal with
how
it.
to handle it. There's no going to be a new Chernobyl going. These guys we're on top of it. They've got it fixed.
Yep.
And it's already... The land around is already healing itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've shrunken the radiation zone so people can go back in. Of course, they carry Geiger
counters. It's inspiring.
Yeah,
it's inspiring.
And that's kind of the idea that it gave me as I was watching Shin Godzilla. Not only just his PTSD, but as a nation recovering.
Not Shin Godzilla. Minus One.
Shin Godzilla. Oh, Minus One. This one's so much better. Not Shin Godzilla. As I was watching Minus One, not only was I getting the idea of it's his PTSD and him trying to recover and find himself within it again.
Yeah.
and the destruction that it causes, but also as the country as a whole healing itself after this major disaster.
There is a lot of that.
And it made me think of the 2011 tsunami and earthquake and all that.
Mind you, what we're seeing in Minus One is more than just a structural destruction.
Yes.
We are watching a nation who has lost a war and lost their honor and lost everything.
Post World War II Japan.
This movie was called Minus One because they weren't at zero.
No, they were beyond zero.
They were beyond zero. And this next movie at zero, and people have talked about this. We don't need to go into this.
Also going to deal with reconstruction and things go wrong. You make plans. Everything's going well, and then things go wrong.
I do want to mention one thing before we jump into this. I like this Godzilla.
I know.
He's like a puppy dog. And a lot of the time when he's
I'm your
swimming in the
imaginary
water,
friend that's going to kill people.
Yeah, when he's swimming and poking his head up out of the water, he's just a nice looking Godzilla. But that lent to a lot of moments in this movie
where you have this amazing, cool
whiplash.
Yeah, you have this amazing, cool, isn't he great monster, and then he does something heinous.
Yes. The scene that really... I walked away from this scene almost physically feeling whiplash. But where we see his atomic breath, and they do the buildup, and they do the whoop, 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 whoop,
I was so happy they put that in there.
Chonk, 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 chonk. And then he blows it. As a fan, I was going, that's so cool. And then immediately after that, Noriko gets blown down the street and destroyed. And I went, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel right now.
I know, right?
Because I like her a lot. But that was super cool. But that call,
that was one of those moments where I was like, "Okay, drama for the sake of drama." Because you've got and it's an abrupt catharsis because you've got the cool, dramatic, cool. But
and it was almost too much for me.
Yeah, there were some scenes like. They're in the street. There's the, here comes the breath. There's Noriko and the guy. And she pushes him out of the way into the alley.
Self-sacrifice.
Yeah, but why didn't she just jump with him? Tackle him in there. Then they both survive. Yay, but it's more dramatic this way.
Also that, but I don't think that she has enough weight to tackle him. But at the same time, I agree with you.
It would work.
The instinct is run to the alley with your arm out and take him with you.
Right, and just Red Rover him right in,
And it did, but it set up, we're going to fast forward to the end, the ending of this movie, which I will say that they transmitted extremely well.
Yes.
I saw every beat coming before it happened.
But it didn't lose anything because in fact, it's not like you're watching an Agatha Christie.
It still made me tear up.
Yeah.
And it still made me
You're like,
feel
no, please, no. Oh.
Yeah, no, it was so good.
It's like me watching the Romeo and Juliet anime because it's futuristic, but not futuristic.
I haven't
it's
seen
super
this
cool.
one. I don't even know this one.
It's so good. We have it.
Check it out.
So they get all the way to the end. The library has it, yes, because it's on our shelf examination. And they get all the way to the end, and I'm like, oh, they're going to make it. Oh, it's Romeo and Juliet. I forgot they both died.
Romeo and Juliet. Well, have you seen Warm Bodies?
Yes!
Okay.
One of the few zombie movies I can handle without nightmares.
Do you realize that's also Romeo and Juliet?
I do.
Now, when I realized that was Romeo and Juliet, I was in the middle of watching it. We hit the balcony scene. Anytime I see a balcony scene in a movie, I immediately start going, what does he say? What light through yonder window breaks? 'Tis the east.
And Juliet.
Whoa. Her name's Julie.
And his name is R.
Oh my goodness, is this Romeo and Juliet? And if this is, what does death mean in a zombie movie where he's already dead?
It's one of the few where it has a happy ending.
I'm so confused. And so I had no idea what to expect as this movie went forward.
No, I was watching 10 Things I Hate About You, and I was like, oh, okay. I got like 20 minutes into it at the most, and was like, oh, this is Tammy the Shrew.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Well, I don't think I've watched that one.
Or She's the Man is 12th Night.
Now there is one other thing, and a part of me wants to wait until we get to this point, and because I've got 4 pages of notes, but no, I'm going to skip to the end here.
Skip to the end.
The end of this movie, as we discussed, was a super high note, ultra happy ending.
It was great. You came out feeling fulfilled. You came out feeling
first
better.
Of all, there was the ejection seat.
Yes.
They transmitted that there was going to be an ejection seat. The scientist guy was talking about, we're making planes without ejection seats. And then shortly thereafter, he's looking at the airplane. The mechanic is working on the airplane.
And he's like,
and he looks at the seat. And I first time watching it, went, oh, it's an ejection seat.
Yay!
And then he tells
Because, yeah, they're not going to
Koichi-
waste celluloid and seconds pointing something out to us that
Yes.
isn't going to be
So
necessary later.
they were transmitting this, and then he shot out of the ejection
And
seat,
we all went,
and it was all,
yes!
yes, ejection seat! Ah! Okay.
You never thought you'd be so excited about an ejection seat.
And then-
Unless you were watching Top Gun.
And then they built it up so good. It was so brilliant. And then she gets the letter. Auntie gets the letter. And I knew what the letter said.
Of course you did.
It meant that
Which is nice because you
Naruto-
didn't have to read the subtitles for
Yeah.
it. But
Well, no, they didn't show us what it said.
No.
They just showed her reading it, and when she went, oh, and I went, Naruto's alive!
Yay!
And at the end of the movie, she shows up and she slaps his shoulder, shows him the letter, and keeps on punching his shoulder. And is like, she's alive, she's alive.
You
And
do
we go
your little
see her in the
happy
hospital.
dance.
And it
yeah.
was great. But then the movie ruined it. Did you notice the black mark up her neck?
Yep.
Why? And then
To
on
leave it
top of-
open for a sequel.
Yes. And then on top of that, we see Godzilla and he's regrowing. Because again, we can't have another like, oh, we defeated Godzilla. Oh, we
Mark
get
II.
we get to do a sequel. Well, we'll have to pull out a spare Godzilla for this one. No, they're setting it up for like, no, this is the same Godzilla, but if he's different, it's because he had to fully regenerate.
He regenerated and he mutated because, he's atomic.
And I would be okay with version 2 of this Godzilla being like, man, every time I go by land, I keep on falling apart. I'm just going to stay
In the
away from
ocean.
people.
Yeah.
You know? I would like that because that would set up this Godzilla to eventually become the hero of the people.
Right.
Which is where I like Godzilla to go. Now, a lot of fans are speculating that this Godzilla is just super angry and he's going to come back super angry. But I think that
I
after
don't
you
know if
get
I
your
can
head
handle
blown...
that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this Godzilla... I hope that this Godzilla comes back and makes his way towards being hero of the people.
Right.
But it kind of ruined the high of the ending.
I agree.
And they didn't need to show the black mark on her neck. I don't even know what that is, but it gets people speculating. It gets
Well, and
people
they
saying,
were so very obvious about
yes,
it.
they were. Although I will say it took me 3 times watching it before I spotted
Seriously?
it. Because I was so into the good. I was so into the happy ending that I didn't want to see it,
You're
I guess.
in denial.
I was in denial.
You blanked it from your visual memory.
And this time I was like watching her neck because people had talked about the black mark
Right.
on her neck. And I'm like, what is it, just a shadow? No, they're zooming in on it. It 100% is a thing. It was intentional. They're going to ruin Koichi's happy ending.
And that poor
Don't do
man
that.
has been through so much.
And he has.
Give him the happiness.
Let the man rest. The other thing that I hear among fans, and I kind of agree with this one, is let's hope that there's like a time skip
Yes.
so that
That
he
would be
can
nice.
have at least 20 years of happiness,
Well, I
you know?
mean, I can't imagine that Godzilla is going to be able to regrow most of himself in a number of
He
days.
regrew really fast. I
Yeah,
mean, he had
there's-
some like Wolverine level healing factor here. This was a healing factor, and I do like.
Now you're making me scared that he'll come back with an adamantine skeleton.
Well, then we got to put the adamantium skeleton in him.
I don't know. We can mutate it. There's metals on the bottom of the ocean.
That's we do not need. Although I will say, womp 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 womp, schnick.
Schnicked.
That's a sound effect.
I
and
know
it's,
it
you
is.
know,
It's schnicked.
Still,
That would be terrifying.
That
I
would-
gotta tell you.
that would be,
So it should be like-
provided though that he's the hero of the people.
Yeah,
I'm down.
right.
There is.
Could you
a-
imagine if he had like the archangel wings where he can shoot those, and he breathes out and it's atomic plus the adamantine thing? Oh.
So we get Godzilla wings now. It's a
No.
combination
I
of-
mean, when he breathes fire, he also breathes out splinters of adamantine.
Oh yeah,
as
no.
well as the
Yeah,
atomic
We don't
breath.
need that. Although, depending on who he's fighting, that could be pretty. Dang
That could be
cool.
pretty cool.
Again, we got to get him towards the hero of the people.
Yes.
Did you know that there is currently a Marvel comic book where Godzilla is fighting the Marvel
Yes.
universe, and he bonds with a symbiote?
Yes.
That's
Bonkers, isn't
that's
it?
a bad idea.
I know. Yeah, I saw that the other day in Barnes and Noble, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So overall, I would say I definitely recommend people watch this movie.
Yes,
I think
it's
it
great.
was
It is
phenomenal.
a bit of a reboot, but not.
Yeah. Well,
But not where they're like, let's tell the Spider-Man origin story for the 15th time.
yes.
It's a reboot to the,
It's a reboot with purpose. It's
Yeah.
a reboot with its own telling of the story.
It's basically, these guys in Japan have never seen Godzilla before.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that they've experienced over and over and over and over.
And I will also say, the original Godzilla from 1956 was from a American's perspective, a very interesting peek into the mindset of,
Into the psyche
at the very
of-
least, liberal Japanese at the time.
Yeah, who have survived the double bombing.
Right.
And who have survived
And
the
it
reconstruction.
was creating kind of a sympathetic, like, don't blame the Americans for doing this because they were just,
trying to stop the war.
trying to make an impossible decision. This movie was a likewise interesting look into the psyche of the modern Japanese, because they kept talking, and I mean, it was so preachy. But it was in the middle
So
of
glad I wasn't the only one thinking
it was in the
this.
middle of a real inspirational part, but it was so preachy, where he's like, we keep throwing away lives and we keep not valuing the lives of our people, and this is more important. And this movie starts with a kamikaze pilot who didn't want to throw away his life. And of course, that's the whole conflict, because on the one hand, he doesn't want to die, but on the other hand, he wishes that he had died.
Yeah,
And it creates
survivor's guilt.
survivor's guilt and PTSD, and all those things that he's going through throughout this movie comes from that origin. But the preachiness of, we need to value our people. Is that the way Japanese, like,
Not at
Gestalt is thinking right now? Is
Yeah.
we need to be more caring of our own people. We need
Yeah,
to do
we
this.
need
And
to
it's
recognize
interesting.
people as individuals
Yeah.
rather than as a country.
Yeah.
Because
So-
in World War II, particularly to show, or the Boshin Wars, or a number of others, it was people as individuals were not important. The emperor or the shogun or whatever.
Which is basically
That was, as long as that survived, it didn't matter if you died.
right. And I mean, there have been many, fascism is basically the state over the individual.
Exactly.
So this is the same idea. I think it's just interesting to me to get a peek at that from a kaiju movie. And I'm down.
No, and the fun thing is with a kaiju movie, with science fiction, fantasy, anything like that is not completely seated in reality, you can explore those heavy stories without punching it in your face.
Yeah, yeah. Although this one did do.
It was a bit in that scene, especially. It was there.
I mean, admittedly,
No.
there wasn't a whole lot of actual face punching in this
But
movie.
you know
Not
what I
like
mean.
King Kong versus
Yeah.
Godzilla, but you know.
But also, I mean, think about Miyazaki and his anti-war stories.
Yeah.
His environment.
Yeah, he had a lot of
But he-
politics.
There's a
woven
lot.
in.
There's
Yeah.
a lot. But
And
at
it
the
makes
same
me
point,
wonder-
he does. Well, except for like Grave of the Fireflies, he doesn't. Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
it's like
just
Schindler.
gotta
No,
say
it's
those
so good.
words.
But at the same point, it's one of those movies where you wanna just cut certain areas and bleed out when you're done. It's like Schindler's List. It was so good once, and I'm never watching it again.
Yeah.
But like Nausicaa is very much pro environment.
Environmental. Yeah.
And look at the horrible things that people are doing, and what
Right.
can we do to repair it?
Right. Princess Mononoke.
Is also very
Princess
very
Mononoke is interesting because if you watch it, who's the bad guy in that movie? There is
Technology.
Nobody, yeah, there's no one person in that movie that is a 100% bad guy.
They all believe in what they're doing.
Right. And while that is sometimes at odds with what other people are trying to do,
Exactly.
he made everybody, even the ones you disagree with, sympathetic. And
Yes.
God, that's some good storytelling.
It was a good story.
Yeah.
And he does it a lot. I mean, you have ridiculous ones like Pocoroso or Kiki's Delivery Service.
Those
Brilliant
are my favorite.
stories.
Yeah.
Brilliant
Totoro.
stories. My Neighbor Totoro, which is just sweet and heartwarming. But at the same point, it's you shouldn't lose your whimsy and your love as a child just because you grow up.
Yeah.
You don't have to be hardened by the world.
Well, and what I think is interesting, about the way Totoro told its story, is that most of that message wasn't in the story. The story was the adventure with Totoro, but did you notice in the credits when they go to visit their mother and all that, they never see Totoro again.
No.
they had this adventure, they had this moment. It will be with them forever, but they don't
And
need.
they've grown up.
Yeah, exactly.
But they
So, it
haven't
was so cool.
lost. They didn't lose the whimsy that they received from Totoro. Whereas a lot of humans become, a lot of
Yeah.
adults become hardened. They forget. That was just it's like C.S. Lewis's Narnia. Susan becomes quote unquote evil because she becomes more materialistic. She denies the fact that Narnia exists, which is, I think, a very harsh way, thank you, C.S. Lewis, of saying they've lost the innocence of childhood and embraced the hardness of the world.
C.S. Lewis was not a subtle man.
Nope.
So what this really brings to my mind, the question that I have, is what lessons are they learning about us from our interpretation of Godzilla or other movies? I know that Hollywood is exporting Americanism to the entire world. But this perspective, getting to see a little peek in their psyche through the lens of this movie, makes me wonder what everybody else is seeing about us. And honestly, I'm not even going to speculate, but it makes me curious.
Oh, it's interesting. I mean, there are people who believe that, Top Gun is all of our military. We're all Maverick. We all, and it's not how this works.
No.
No,
the majority of our military is doing its best to make sure nothing interesting happens.
Yes, we'd rather be bored. Thank you very much.
Bored. Thank you very much.
But it's interesting how, Hollywood tells exciting stories.
Yeah.
And a lot of the world that doesn't have experience with America only sees the exciting stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's like reading a Facebook feed. You get the highlights of people's lives and not the lowlights.
Unless you have the particular people who just post all of their meals and stuff,
right?
Which is more than I'm willing to share.
Or you have the people who post nothing but the negative things that are happening to them.
But you just
it's still a very filtered
the notable
view.
things. You don't see a lot of everyday things, unless, like I said, you have the people who post their meals.
The other thing is, a majority of drama is people making bad choices.
Yeah.
So maybe their filter is, man, America makes a lot of bad choices. Doggone it, we do, though.
But we also overcome those bad choices.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you have,
Sometimes
Gravity,
it takes a while.
You watch the movie Gravity and all you think is worst day ever.
Yeah, I did enjoy that movie, though.
I did too, but at the same time, that woman had the worst day ever.
Yeah, it was a case of like, can she get a break? It's like 5 seconds of a break. Let's come back to this. Okay, so
let's go back to Godzilla.
We are already like
way into
half an hour into this, and we haven't even started on this. So I'm going to try and speed run through my notes here. The movie opens with, as we already said, Koichi, a kamikaze pilot, chickening out and backing out.
Which is amazing, because he chickened out in time that he didn't run out of gas.
Right. He was able to get to his repair island and stuff like that.
He could get to some place.
Right. And it's very clear, very quickly on that, he chickened out, he backed out. And there are people there who agree with him, and there are people there who disagree with him for that one. But while he's there, we get, this I think is interesting, a Zilla attack.
I know, right?
It's not Godzilla.
It's Zilla.
It's Zilla. He's more T-Rex looking. He doesn't quite have the iguana head.
Not quite, but
it's still...
You look at that and you're like, oh my gosh, that's Zilla.
Yeah, that is American T-Rex Godzilla. Was that intentional?
I don't know. Maybe it's like, look, we're going to make him canon, okay? Just move on.
Right. But it was definitely a lesser form of Godzilla that attacked
I think Zilla is technically female, laid all those eggs.
That's true. Well, yes, female and pregnant and laid all those eggs. So not 100% Zilla, but I think it's interesting.
Close enough.
Yeah, we do not start out in this movie with a full-grown
Godzilla,
thick boy Godzilla.
No, thick boy with the ridges on the back and all that jazz.
He starts out as just a random island T-Rex.
Extra big lizard
that is still around. A little bit of Land of the Lost here.
Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
Oh, flashbacks.
Yes.
Saturday mornings.
Very cool way to introduce the Godzilla monster. And we get a scene where Koichi is told to get into his airplane and use his airplane's gun to shoot Zilla, and again he chickens out.
Shoot!
Yeah. Zilla sets up a perfect shot for
Oh, it
him.
was
Like,
really cool,
he
yeah.
could have shot it right into. This would have been a much shorter movie
Right?
if he had just pulled the trigger at that point. But he doesn't. A lot of people speculate online that even if he had, it wouldn't have
Done
succeeded.
anything.
I think that it would have. I think that Koichi had an opportunity to end this right there because he had not gotten his healing. Godzilla had not gotten his healing factor at this point.
No,
I
he
think it
had
would have
not.
worked. I think a shot through a 20 millimeter shot through the eye would
Right
have
into the
ended
brain,
it right
yeah.
there, right in the brain. So yeah, this would have been a much shorter movie. But no, he chickens out. A
It's
lot
more
of people
dramatic
die.
this way.
It's more dramatic that way, but
And
it
then-
also
and
sets
thus
up
the
another reason
onset
for
of
him to feel
survivor's guilt.
guilty. Exactly.
So not only does he feel survivor's guilt because his whole squad of kamikazes died and he didn't,
Yep.
but then
But
everybody on the island was killed,
Right.
but not him because he chose not to pull the trigger.
Right.
So now he's got double survivor's guilt,
And
as
again-
well as believing himself a true coward.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's that push and that pull between. It's the damage that these things do to other people
Exactly.
around you. Okay. And also, so he returns at this point to Japan, and nobody here is in a good place.
No.
Nobody.
No, after that war.
After that war, no. Everybody was in
I mean,
a bad
you've had the
place.
fire bombings of Tokyo. You've had
And
Nagasaki and
Hundreds
Hiroshima.
of thousands dead.
And
Everybody with.
people sick with cancer and,
Yeah.
and poisoning, and
We didn't see a whole lot of that in this
you
movie.
do not.
No.
But it is an understated thing.
But there is introduction of a baby and mama. We
Mm-hmm.
get Akiko and Noriko, a woman. She's accused of being a thief. What did she steal? Like,
Mm-hmm. They never
what
really-
was there to steal?
It could have been, a Jean Valjean, you stole a loaf of bread and broke a window pane.
I don't know. But she was carrying a baby. She hands it off to Koichi. Koichi eventually adopts her and adopts the baby. But of course, he doesn't want to do it, but he's just thrown into this situation. They kind of become a family, as is pointed out later by the captain,
Reluctantly.
by fate.
Yeah.
And, that's great. And then we see them, like, trying to rebuild their lives, and he gets a job disarming mines,
Whew.
which is
A high-stress situation.
it's a high-stress situation, but it's also one that, first of all, he's uniquely qualified
Yes,
for.
yes, he is.
He knows how to shoot a gun at a detached mine, and he kind of wants to die.
Yeah, he kind of does. But
So-
at the same point, he's also undoing
Yes.
the harm
Yes.
or the possible
It's
harm.
kind of therapy.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
Yeah.
a little bit therapeutic because he's doing his job, other people won't get hurt.
Yeah. And we are introduced at this point to the captain, the
Mm-hmm.
doc, and the kid. These are his crewmates on the boat. What is interesting is they are with another boat. There's a
Yes.
secondary boat that's helping them, that's dragging the chain with them. And we don't ever see these other guys.
No, they're just
They
on
live-
the other boat.
We talk to them over the radio. They
They are
die.
faceless.
They are entirely
They are red
faceless.
shirts,
They-
complete red shirts.
yeah, absolutely. Now, the funny thing is the kid dreams of the glories of war.
Because he doesn't remember.
Because he doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
Koichi also dreams of war,
Yeah, but not in a good
but
way.
not in a good way.
It haunts him.
Yeah. And I thought that was a very
the fact that he
interesting
hasn't just,
juxtaposition.
smack the kid upside the head and be like, get a brain,
Well,
is really impressive.
He did grab the kid, and when the kid was like, I wish the war had gone on longer, he grabbed
Yeah.
him and stared him down and was like, you do not mean that. And I mean, in some ways, the kid represents the idealization
I
of
would have
youth.
thrown him overboard. I'm
Well,
going to be honest.
he wanted to.
He didn't. He showed restraint.
He showed restraint, and the kid does later on in the movie show up with his desire to help and
Yeah.
actually does the right
yeah,
thing.
he does
It
the right
was
thing. He
good.
starts to get a reality check, and he's like, hey, it's not as cool as I thought it was.
Now, meanwhile, Noriko,
Noriko.
she's okay. Koichi can't form a relationship with her.
No, he's kind of
just
stymied.
kind of broken,
Yeah.
and so she
And until he's willing to heal and move past it, he can't. Yeah.
She can't. And so she decides to go get a job in the city so that she can become more independent. Now, part of me is like, did she do this hoping that he would go, no, marry me
miss you.
instead?
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel
I
like...
don't know. They didn't really establish that.
But he's still too broken.
yeah.
He doesn't do that. So she ends up working in the city, which puts her in a bad place because nukes have gone off.
Yeah.
And our previous Zilla gets caught in them and mutated, and now Godzilla attacks in the water. This is the first time we see them. One thing that I think is interesting, they have been sent out to intercept Godzilla because
it's a giant thing in the ocean.
It's a giant thing in the ocean. They got a boat, and they're like, pull out some of the mines, and when you see this thing, throw the mines at him. And
repurpose it.
And the government is like, and also don't tell anybody. And he's like, doggone the gag order. This government can never change and stuff like that. Again, just
NBCs.
a little bit preachy.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite sure what he was preaching there myself. But nevertheless, government discord.
It was one of those, we should inform people so they can be prepared as opposed to keeping the secret so no one panics.
Yeah. So
Where's the line you draw?
Godzilla shows up. They see the spines. They see the head, little head popping up.
Yeah, I was like, up, scrope.
Yeah. They try dropping a mine on him, and it blows up, and it doesn't...
He's just like, eh.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt him real bad. But here's the thing. Wouldn't he have run into mines before this point? Because they were talking about how many mines there were out there.
Yeah, you'd think.
You'd think that he would not be unfamiliar with mines, but nevertheless...
I don't think he's ever had one launched at him before.
Right. Well, they didn't so much launch it as just kind of drop it in his general vicinity and then blow it up
Yeah, that's why he was just
and
like,
they did blow it up right next to him. And I think that it might have hurt him because this Godzilla gets hurt. He just regenerates really fast.
Quick.
But then they follow that up with dropping a mine right into his mouth. Koichi...
Which was cool.
Finally, like, he's got the shakes and he's like, forget about it. I'm taking the shot. And he finally takes the shot. He finally starts
After
that
all
healing.
This,
yes. Yeah. And unfortunately, it blows off half of Godzilla's face and Godzilla regenerates his face.
Yeah,
so we got the healing factor. Yeah.
You expect him to pop out a cigar and call someone bub.
But then they get saved by another attack ship showing up, some cruiser. And Godzilla turns around and starts attacking the cruiser, and they are no match for the first shot of his atomic breath, which comes up out of the water.
Which was so cool.
Which was kind of cool, but it also kind of hid the atomic breath. We still don't know what the heck was that. What did he do? Of course, we all know, but at the same time...
But if it's someone's first experience with Godzilla,
yeah,
they're like, what was that?
And now Koichi is starting to, like, get therapy. He's starting to open up to
I think it's because he was willing to take the shot.
Yeah.
He was willing to...
We are seeing...
Opening himself up to healing.
We are seeing an arc in Koichi. He is growing, and I love that about this movie.
He kind of stagnated.
In it.
He stagnated for a while because he was just so trapped in his past.
Yeah. But I am here for it. My wife, when we watched this movie, she came away from it, and she was not into it. She was like, it reminded me of Shin Godzilla. It was so slow. I'm like, yeah, it was slow, but the difference was... I cared about these folks.
You liked the people.
I did not care about the folks in
You're like,
Shin Godzilla.
Darn, he got stepped on. All you cared about is whether or not she got off the rebar.
Yeah, not even that much. So let's see, Godzilla now attacks Tokyo and this scene.
Poor Shinjuku.
Poor Shinjuku. But still, this scene, we got the music.
Oh, the score was great.
It was the classic score back again. We got
the leitmotifs were there. Yeah.
But Noriko's on the train, and Godzilla picks up the train and carries it like a dog carries a bone in his mouth. It's dog Godzilla again. But she's hanging on, and she drops herself into the water, and she pulls herself out of the water. And then what happens? Godzilla's walking down the same exact street that she's walking down.
Because that's just how it was like. And the whole time I was watching it, I was thinking, does she have like the radio waves thing that we've seen in the past?
Is there an opposite of plot armor? Because she got that.
Man, she was like plot, the
plot.
She was the homing. Yes, there you go. She had like a homing beacon. Come this way.
Yeah. The cameras are over here. Speaking of, not cameras, there were reporters on a roof. I love these guys. They are so dumb.
They were so stupid.
They were reporting in the radio, but he was like, I can see the monster. He's dangerously close. Then move. But no, he was going to do his job to the end, and he did.
It's like the people partying on the roofs in Independence Day.
Yeah.
You're like...
holding up the sign saying, take me, aliens. Yeah,
it's like, wow, you are stupid.
Come on. Noriko is in the street. She's running from Godzilla, soaking wet, running from Godzilla. She falls down, looks behind, she's frozen, and Koichi randomly finds her, conveniently finds her in the street and helps her get up and run.
She's got like, she has a plot tiny shield. She has a buckler, plot buckler.
But this leads to the atomic breath whiplash that I talked about. Cool scene, but she gets hurt. Noriko gets hurt, and I am just like, I don't know how to feel.
And they all think she's missing and or dead, and
But at this point, that kind of sets us into we now know that we got the monster and we need to fight about it.
And that's about the point where, with saving her, that Koichi moves into his heroic stance.
We have a scene with Mr. Noto, Doc, explaining how they're going to defeat the monster with science. And I love it.
Me with science.
They're going to sink him to the bottom of the ocean and let the ocean depths crush him. And if that doesn't do it, they're going to pull him back up so the decompression
give him the
crushes him. And they are going to kill him with science.
And I was watching it, and I was like, wait, he already lives in the ocean.
Yeah, well, he does, but there is something to be said for rapid decompression and rapid.
Let's drop you in the Mariana Trench and then pull you back up.
Yeah, you do it slow, you're fine. You do it quick, you're gonna hurt.
Fine.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt a little bit.
Nitrous oxide for the win.
And at first, he doesn't want to do it. Koichi is like, this isn't gonna work, but Doc convinces him. He convinces others. And then on top of that, Koichi is going to get a really cool little plane that is going to help out. But the plane is not ready, and he needs a mechanic. And so he finds Sotsuko, and he finds him the hard way because he can't figure out where he is. So he sends letters out bad-mouthing him so that he will come knock him upside the head.
So that he can say, how dare you?
Yeah, so that he will say, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But
I just needed your attention.
I need your attention because there's no other way that they can do this. And Sotsuko agrees to help him put together the plane. Yeah, fine, you jerk, but okay, we're going to do it. And we get that inspiring talk about we should use ejection seats, and we get the mechanic looking at the seat, and we as audience members go, is it an ejection seat? Please be an ejection seat. They're really transmitting the ending, but then we get to the final fight.
And what a fight.
And it's inspiring leading up to it, but then when the fight comes, Koichi sends out in this little plane, and I love every scene of this plane. It's so cute, it's so fast, it's so happy.
I know.
Yeah.
I was kind of reminded of, Big King Kong, little plane buzzing around him.
Yes, but it's so fast
from the original
and it's so
King
zippy,
Kong.
and you could tell he's in his element, and he's just
that just looks like so much fun to fly.
Yes.
Zoom, 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 zoom.
And it was a cool little triangular design that just kind of looked good.
Yeah.
I don't know if a plane like this would actually fly in real life.
And it's a little too dart-shaped rather than a flying wing.
But it just looked happy.
It did.
And it made me happy to look at.
It made me think of some of the science fiction anime planes
It does. Well, there was a game for the Xbox, which I think was based on a board game before it. It was called Wings of Glory, I think. But the airplanes like that have backset wings as well.
Yes, backswept. Really backswept.
And I love the design of that. I don't know if it's practical. I don't know if it would actually
If it's made
work.
out of something more than paper, I don't know.
But I don't care. I love this
It was still
plane.
cool.
It was so cool. And Koichi goes and gets Godzilla, who is walking through a farmland field with nothing around him except for one building that he walks straight down the middle of. Like, dude, you just go through the corn, man. Just leave the building alone. We don't have to rebuild every building every time you come into town, man.
I have to destroy something. Come on.
It's like popping bubble wrap. He just can't resist it, you know?
Right?
I like the way it feels between my toes.
I like the popping bubble wrap analogy.
Yeah. And so, Koichi has to lure him back out to the ocean. So he shoots at him a couple of times, annoys him enough that Godzilla turns around and goes back out into the ocean.
Fine.
Yeah.
I will deal with you.
He is so puppy dog-like.
Okay, I come after you. You have treats? I want treats.
Yeah. Treat
Would you shoot at me again?
Yeah. Or, you're annoying, but I'm going to train you. Ball. Yeah, that's really what it was. It was ball.
Squirrel.
And so they deploy the plan. They wrap him up in the bubble wrap. It's not bubble, but it creates bubbles.
Yes.
So it is a bubble wrap, I guess. And they drop him into the ocean just as he is getting ready. So there's a scene where he blows the atomic breath at a decoy boat that they've wrapped all the wires up around the steering wheel. And I thought that was really cool.
Really
and they
interesting
take
idea.
advantage of the cool down to wrap him up in the bubble generators.
Because you can only breathe your atomic breath so fast so many times.
I love that the doc was like, it has a cooldown. We've got some time. And nobody went, are you sure?
Yeah.
How
Are
do
you
know?
for imprint sure?
And the doc should have been like, no,
No, but we don't
what
got
else are we
anything else."
gonna do? Let's hope that it doesn't. You guys kept telling me that I wasn't instilling confidence, okay? No, I don't know if any of this is gonna work. But it
This
does.
is my best guess. If you
Yeah.
have a better one, let me know.
Yeah. And so they go in, they wrap him up, they drop him down. Meanwhile, Koichi is flying around and keeping Godzilla. Like, he's hurting Godzilla with
He's
this
like the
little airplane.
mosquito annoying him.
Yeah, he is. And it works. They drop Godzilla down just as he's about to shoot his atomic breath again. They drop him down, and that cools off his atomic breath. But,
Somehow.
yeah, well, hurts him enough that he's got to
He's
redirect that
distracted,
energy
yeah.
or something like that. I don't know. Is this like when you have a sneeze that gets interrupted? Like, was he down there going, oh, I hate this?
Going to da, 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 da. What was that?
Oh, never mind. But then they're like, okay, that didn't work. They send up the inflation devices and they
To
try to bring
rocket
him
him
back
up.
up. But Godzilla stops part way and he chews through whatever. So they're like, we're going to shoot in opposite directions. We're going to pull him back up. But they don't have enough power. And the kid shows up with tugboats, which is exactly what they needed. Once again,
Plot
little
convenience
bit
theater.
convenient. But
But,
it was a good moment of the kid getting to...
He's like, look, I'm useful.
Yeah, he's like a piece of the action. I get to
Yeah.
be a part of this, and it was what we needed.
And it was well thought for it was okay, if this isn't going to work, what will we need?
Yeah, yeah.
So it showed a little forethought on his
A little
part.
forethought, maybe a little too much forethought, but nevertheless.
A lot of plot convenience.
Now, when Godzilla comes up this time, he is not in a good way.
No.
He's ripped apart. His eyes are bugging. He is hurting,
And man, is he ticked off.
and he's ticked off, and he's about to throw the atomic breath one more time, and Koichi shows up in a shot that I thought was way, way, way too long. It's like
Not arguing.
his atomic breath is coming up in his throat. It's about to come out. Wait, no, there's Koichi. What is he doing? No, Koichi, don't do it. No, what are you doing? Why are you so small on the horizon? Okay, no, he's getting closer. No, he's
Doppler effect. No, I was
Godzilla should have let loose by
I was
now.
reminded of Frieza with his in 5 minutes Namek will explode. 15 episodes later of
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, it still hasn't exploded. World's longest 5 minutes.
To me, it more reminded me of Monty Python and the Holy Grail
And the running
when
scene.
Lancelot is running up, when
Monty
we
Python
cut back
running
of
scene.
Yeah, exactly. But nevertheless, Koichi flies the airplane right into Godzilla's mouth, which he has rigged up with a bomb, and at the last second, ejects out, blows up Godzilla. It's happiness.
Look, he's gotten his kamikaze
Yeah.
and survived.
And I love everybody saluting Godzilla as he goes down. I thought that was a perfect way to, like, this Godzilla can come back in the
Yes.
future as a hero of the people because he fought a worthy fight.
Yeah,
and
he
they all
did.
recognize
and
that.
that was very much following the Bushido Code.
Yeah,
He fought a good fight for what he stood for.
yeah. The people
Just
were
because
not
the people
like,
happened to be in the way.
yeah, and the people who beat him were not like, yeah, we got you, you evil monster.
No,
No,
they were
it
just
was
like,
like, salute, good fight,
Yeah.
watch him go down. But it was honorable, and I
Very
loved
much.
it. I loved it. I
Yes.
thought it was a good ending for this movie, good ending for this Godzilla. And as we said, Noriko is still alive, but then they screwed up with the black on her neck and the Goji regenerate. Just cut this movie 5 minutes shorter and leave me on an up note, and I will love everything
What,
about
you
this
don't
movie.
want the sequel hook?
We don't need the sequel hook. If this does well, we will get a sequel, and I will happily watch it. And I will happily take any reason for bringing back Godzilla. Oh, he super regenerated? I believe
I'm
it,
done with it. Yeah, and the problem with a sequel hook is what happens if you don't get a sequel.
Right.
Then your story feels unfinished.
I always feel like people put sequel hooks into movies because they think, well, this will make it more likely that we'll get a sequel.
And it doesn't.
It doesn't. It is ranking time.
Oh, no. Yeah, I really like this one.
This
honestly.
one's
Now I have
so,
to-
like I said, I think that this one was already better than 2014, and I had 2014 at number 3.
Really high,
I will
yeah.
say, if I were redoing it, I might switch Godzilla and King of Monsters to to say that this is better than King of Monsters, because this is still better than King of Monsters. Whether
Yes.
King of Monsters is above Godzilla 2014 or Godzilla 14 is above King of Monsters, this is above both of them. Is this better than King Kong 1933? Here's the thing. If I had King Kong 1933 to watch, and I had Godzilla Minus One, and I could only watch one of them, that it would be a really, really,
And
really
you get a
tough
coin
choice.
and you flip it.
Honestly, yeah. I'm going to put this below King Kong 1933, but I want to acknowledge just how close.
Can I
that
make it
is.
a tie?
Yeah, I wish.
I'm like, because I would tie it with Godzilla 2014.
Okay.
Just because.
But in the ranking, are you going to put it above or
I don't
below
know.
it?
Why do you make these things hard?
Yeah, well,
It
it is though. It's that close to like a perfect movie. Not
It was-
perfect.
well, it's a
Again,
kaiju movie.
They screw. If it weren't for the ending, I think this might have been above.
And the scene and you know the Frieza scene, you know, where he's just flying and it's supposed to be so fast and it's so not.
The thing is, while that was ridiculous, I don't hate this
No,
movie
no,
for that
and-
as much as I
and
hate this
it's an
movie for the black
established-
mark on her neck.
It's an established cinematography kind of thing.
Yeah.
For now, I'm going to put it right below 2014.
All right. Sounds good. So we both put this movie at our number 3
Yeah, we
spot.
did.
Our number 1s and number 2s are a little bit different, but we both agree Godzilla Minus One. It's definitely in the top 3. I don't think there's any debate about that. That is going to be it for this episode and this kaiju review.
Basic kaiju
The
review.
basic kaiju
I'll be back
review.
for one more.
Yeah, I think we may decide
do
to-
Rampage.
We may do Rampage, and when
Well, actually,
more
The Rock. I mean,
why not? And when more kaiju movies come out, we may return to the kaiju review. But in the meanwhile, the Shelf Examination podcast is not done.
Nope. It's
I
Tales of the
just-
Trenches.
I just need to get off my butt and go interview some librarians and have a good time talking about
All the crazy things that happen.
all the crazy things
I
that
still need to
happen.
tell you about the light bulb story.
Oh, well, maybe we'll take some time and do that at a later week, but for this week, let's wrap it up there. All right, we invite you to do some shelf examination of your own at your local library. Thanks for listening.